Okay. That works. Sorry about that, folks. So I called a meeting today. um. Hmm. I thought about this. You know.
You've got mail.
Hmm. 2 words. Accountability, vulnerability. I think those are the words I wrote down. Excuse me. Oh, okay. So we have golly, I couldn't wore a shorter skirt. Okay, so 2 words: uncomfortability, vulnerability. Okay, and so these are the possibilities or the percentages, okay, that we look at in certain aspects of things. I'm going to kind of be quiet a little bit and kind of listen to the feedback of what other people have to say on this, but yeah, I kind of wanted to get everybody else's input and their thoughts, that sort of thing. Oh, I forgot to. Oh my God, these people never stop calling. Hold on one second. I'm gonna have to pause my shit. Golly. These people never stop. Hold on. One second. Sorry about that. People just, they don't know when to quit, but today. So anyway, what I was talking about is this uncomfortability, vulnerability, and the possibility or the probability. Okay, more or less what I should put on there. I put possibility with the percentage sign because a possibility is like it's like a maybe answer. Okay, this goes to show like with things, how we view things. And I've broken this down for the love of Christ, man. Y'all, hold on one second. Okay, so sorry about that, man. People just don't know when to freaking stop calling. I was about to go off. I like to get other people's input and I want to write them down, okay? So there's like a perception of like how people are viewed and stuff like that. And it goes to like a lot of it having to do with case law and that sort of thing, but kind of wanted to get other people's opinions and stuff. We've all seen A Bronx Tale. It's a great movie. You know exactly where your love lies. You know who's there to support you, and that's your immediate family. Now, a lot of people don't have that. For the insurance idea that I was coming up with, that is for people who are going to be facing time. So this insurance is going to cover. It's going to cover like down payment, like towards like your. Oh, I can't. Sorry, I was doodling. I don't want to show that page. Anyway, so the insurance idea that I have is so that you get a down payment for a home so that you can start getting back in society and having the, not luxuries, but the just like normal, without having to pull a crazy card, like the everyday items and essentials, the shelter, food, all that sort of thing, and being okay with that, where you're at. Okay, so we all know that people go to prison, they go to jail, and it's like the probability or the possibility 98% that wind up just right back into the system. So say you have like I'm gonna have to pull this out. Say you have a year that you're facing in prison, right? This doesn't come out. It's really embarrassing toning on there. Okay. So what was I saying? So the insurance policy is like, okay, so your money comes from your inmate trust account. Covers 3% down payment on whatever house that you choose, that sort of thing. I'm talking about putting, okay, so on regular, they get probably about $31,500 per inmate, on the rosters, okay? So say you have an inmate, they're facing a year, they have a year that they're facing, take that into account, like they get $30,000. Per inmate. How much does it cost to house an inmate? And how much does it cost to help an inmate? So you're talking $31,000 that they make per inmate per year on average. I'm talking about putting money back into to help these people. I'm talking about the Susie homemakers, CPS caseworkers that have no other job in the world to do but to tear up families and stuff. How about let's, help some of these people that don't really, there's resources out, that sort of thing. How about insurance? How about an insurance policy? If you're like a career criminal, this is probably something for you. If you are facing a lot of time in the penitentiary, this would take care of that, as far as like the money on your books, that sort of thing. But I'm talking about putting that $31,000 in a year, and I'm talking you could even place them in job placements while being in the penitentiary that actually benefit outside resources, and where they basically still get paid like hourly wage, but that money is going directly for what it's for. So you're still an inmate, that sort of thing. You're still doing your time and your crime, what have you, but this is like an insurance policy that is going to help you establish yourself once you touch ground back home. Now, people say, man, you are completely delusional. You have no idea the amount of resources that are out there. Blah, 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 blah. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about breaking it down to like a science, man. It doesn't take that much. Like, you could take, say, the CPS caseworkers out there that are agents and what have you. You could actually take them and have them do this job rather than attacking the families. What I'm talking about is putting these people back up on their feet with that motivation, okay? That's that probability. Hold on. What I'm talking about, that is, okay? That is your probability, your possibilities right here, okay? If you actually help those people get back up on their feet and back into the community, not just by like resource here, resource there. I'm talking about actually establishing it for them. It's going to be beneficial for everybody. The money's going to start piling in. It's going to start circulating. Let's talk about it. You want to talk about it? It feels good to have $1 in your pocket. It feels good to be able to go buy yourself a candy bar and a Coke when you want one at the store. Am I right or am I wrong? So, that being said, you're very vulnerable whenever you first get out. And yeah, there's the resources out there, but why can't we have like the caseworkers helping us establish what we're going to do, and maybe like a work program where they can actually, pay into an insurance policy that's going to help them with a 3% down payment for their, first time home buyer mortgage. So a lot of these people have no place to go. So you could be like a first time home buyer. Some people can't, afford to pay their electric bill if someone got in their name. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff into it. And if we really put the money like this, and this is the uncomfortability that nobody wants to talk about right here, okay? This is the big deal right here, okay? That's that uncomfortability, all right? So what are you comfortable with? What are you not comfortable with? You're not comfortable with supporting people on drugs. You're not comfortable supporting those people. Well, what do you think those people are the second that they get out of prison? They're still that person on drugs. The day that they are released, the second before they're about to leave, they are still that person in the mind's eye to anybody and everybody. And I'm here to tell you that from experience, that it's this right here, the uncomfortability with adapting, okay? So like adapting, you can't just take a fish straight from warm water and just throw it into straight freezing cold water. You're going to shock it. You're going to send it into like, it needs somebody to take care of it. It needs you to get the net and fish it out of there and put it in the environment it is trying to ease into, because you're going to shock it, okay? So we want to avoid shock. All right? Avoid shock. And it's not, avoiding it is not a bad thing. But taking the fear card out of it, the fear out of first getting released would help a lot. Yes, there are the resources out there. You can get with those guys. A lot of times they don't have a lot of the housing or something like that. I'm talking about an insurance policy. This isn't government funded nonprofit organization. I'm talking about you have to pay that money back. I'm talking about an insurance policy, so in case you get caught up, you can't afford to purchase yourself an attorney that's not through the state bar, that sort of thing. If you know that you are looking at some time or something like that, an insurance policy would be something that you'd be more interested in. And I explained this the other night, that the definition of incarceration is either a jail or a hospital, either one of the two. That is like the fine definition of incarceration. And so it has to be one or the other to get covered under any sort of like government funding. A lot of them like to pull like these crazy cards, and they need hospitalization or something like that, all right? A lot of this has to do with the uncomfortability of it all, okay? So you want to avoid shock, getting shocked whenever you first are released from prison. An insurance policy is what I'm talking about here. Something that you have to pay back into, okay? So something that keeps flourishing. This is a policy that would like put money on your books every week, and it's like in an account, guys. It's a trust is what it comes from. Every meal in prison costs you 11 cents out of your trust. So how much does it cost to house inmates and that sort of thing? It costs a lot. But let me tell you how we get that number down is if you actually help the inmates and you get them, say you take 10 inmates, you help them with a caseworker get a work release program where they can work so many hours and say they're just facing a year or something in prison. In a year's time, you actually have the money for a 3% down on any home, wherever you want to parole out to, that sort of thing. So it would be working with the parole board and that sort of thing. And the probability of them coming back to the penitentiary would actually lessen if you actually would help these people get established into a house or a place or something, a lot of them didn't have those luxuries, and that's why they got into the system anyway, is from being without, you know? So if you take the time to like kind of give them the responsibility, I'm not talking about blessing them, I'm talking about giving them some responsibility. How are you going to pay your first mortgage payment? You know, how are you going to pay your first light bill? That sort of thing. So you have no choice. If you want to keep the upkeep of your home and that sort of thing, you're going to want to follow this plan. And I'm telling you, a mortgage to a house is so much cheaper. I'm talking HUD and everything. HUD is like, okay, like you're paying for rent, okay? Your children grow to be 18 years of age, and then there's no more child support, that sort of thing, within the child support system. So you're talking that you could get a 15-year fixed rate on a mortgage or some equity or something. Like you could do 3% down, 15-year fixed rate or whatever, and by the time the child is 18 years of age, you own your shit. You're not still putting into the HUD or renting it. I mean, does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense here. So that's the part nobody wants to talk about, the uncomfortability, all right? Vulnerabilities, all right? And so what are the possibilities, all right? So this is what you're looking for, is the opportunities. So I just want everyone to know, guys, like, share, and subscribe too. Tell your friends about it. I just want everyone to know that don't be too hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. A lot of people hate to point that out, that they are able to use people and like kind of as a pawn in due time whenever they are ready to do as they may with them and throw them wherever they want to. They discard them. Those are typically people who can't get on the same like matrix of like an IRS tax return or something like that. As simple as that. So what I'm talking about is you give them a little bit of responsibility. Now, where would you find any vulnerabilities in this? This is kind of like the question you need to ask yourself. How would this make you vulnerable? Okay? How would it make you vulnerable to run a program or have I'm talking like just a caseworker, someone who, you know, comes to the jail and will visit you and give you like a pamphlet of possibility homes to look at, stuff like that. Like I'm talking a CPS caseworker, but for an inmate, you know, to help somebody who won't have to wind up back in that situation. Mail. You got mail. Just keep that in mind. So I'm talking, guys, like we are wasting time renting this space right here.
You've got mail.
You know, pushing, shoving people wherever they, you know, may go or whatever is just really not where it's at. And I think we can all admit that once you've been into the penitentiary, the second you are released, you're still that drug addict. You are still that guy. And I mean, people are going to label and point at you as though you are that. So why not help somebody who can accept the responsibilities of their actions and is willing to go higher in life? So you don't want to just keep pushing those people down to the totem pole so that they can't rise up. You know, you got to kind of like, I mean, it's I know it's a lot, you know, to take in, but you got to help those people. You have to help them. And you think that you are helping them by having them just sit in one spot for all that time, but they are accruing 30. Okay, and this is the thing. The prison's not going to help you with getting back up, like a home, that sort of thing whenever you first get out. So I'm talking an insurance company here. That different, you know, possibilities with that. You could run it one of two ways, like pay for an attorney if you were facing a lot of time and put money on your books, and then another policy where it's like it covers your housing, it covers certain things, but you're looking at someone who's just sitting there accruing. And you could do work release programs where they're actually making the hourly wage and making like a workplace like factory jobs or something like that, like actually function and go, you could place them all in there, make, you know, people that they're paying like $23 an hour to, and you could put those people in those places making like half that and putting the money back, you know, going towards their, you know, their happiness as soon as they get out or whatever. So you're talking 31,000, I think it's $31,520. And so where's the vulnerability in that? I want to know where this vulnerability is at. Okay, if you think that you are away at camp, then you're away at camp. Like there's just, I'm just saying, like you can't just like, I'm thinking you're away at camp, but there's like no vulnerability in that, okay? Because you're not asking, you're not trying to stalk this person after you bless them with something. This is something that they're actually earning and taking the time out, because that's what we do. We take the time out to think on it and to manifest and to meditate what we really didn't have, what we should have had, and how we're going to get it this time, what we actually need to be comfortable in society. So that takes away the shock treatment there. So you're talking about 31,520. This is on average, average number. All right. This is just average. I don't know what states are different or how it differentiates. I think it's about $200 a day for regular prisons or what have you. But if you think about this number right here, this is a year. So this would be for 1 year. Okay, that's per year, per inmate. You could just take like even 10,000 of that from inmate trust and put that towards everything. But I'm talking about a work release program. I'm talking about a program that helps you get your license, that sort of thing would be very beneficial. Then you actually turn around and the number of inmates is actually going to turn around on you. You won't have so many people with that 98% possibility of going back to the penitentiary. Okay, so how is there a vulnerability with helping someone out? There's not. It's insurance is what it's called. We call this insurance nowadays, okay? Insurance. Reassurance, all right? You could just call it insurance, all right? So if you are not facing that much time, this is an insurance policy, okay? And it's actually going to cover your basics for you to not freak out and go into shock once you are released, that sort of thing. And if you do the work release program, actually you could take 10, I would say like 10,000 out of the inmate trust fund, like for the 3% down and that sort of thing. That would cover everything, 10 grand per inmate, to help them get established for wherever they want to go and where they want to go when they are released. All right. So you get 10,000 out of that, and they can still do the work release program. You would be making a lot of dough. Okay, you would be saving on a lot of dough here. Like if you have them working, say, in a factory job or something like that. Okay. Work release program, kind of getting them into the daily functions and picking them up and taking them back to the jail like every day and stuff. So you could actually make a whole lot of money, all right? And then you have less people going back to the penitentiary. You get them in that mindset. You get them thinking about things and paying their bills and responsibilities. So there's actually no vulnerability and helping out these people who actually do need it, okay? We don't have to go find, mothers and children in homes that are being abused and neglected, that sort of thing. You could actually utilize those caseworkers to work these cases for inmates, okay? So that you don't have these problems. You don't have people, this is what happened, guys. I think contractors just got too happy with building neighbors like too close to each other, and so now we have problems. But why can't you just coincide with society? Because you are forever going to be labeled that guy the second you are incarcerated. So why not have insurance to cover that? Actually would be beneficial for everybody. Probably even put the system in a spot where it doesn't even need to be anymore. You don't really need all that funding anymore. You got people flourishing and thriving and, you know, coming up with new ideas and making something out of themselves and leaving again. So there's that. So that's my idea. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I'm gonna put my little jogger suit on. I'm gonna come back for a next video if y'all want to do a horoscope. Horoscopes are just like, for me, like they're good conversation starters. It gets you talking about something, you know, possibility, probability, what could happen, what couldn't happen, you know, and it's kind of like weighing it out, like what could possibly go wrong, what could possibly go right. It's what people don't want to think about. So when you put more love in it, it's gonna circulate, it's gonna recycle or whatever. So that being said, y'all, I'm gonna put on my jogger outfit and then be back on here for another video. So if y'all are interested in doing the tarot thing with me tonight, I've got a special for y'all on that one. Pretty good one. Okay. Mm. 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 Mm-hmm. 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 I'll be back on in like 5 minutes.